Overthinking has been a big topic recently in the community, and I've been coaching a few guys through this on the group calls that we're having. Now, if you're a human being, you deal with overthinking. Every single one of us gets confronted with our mind. I believe we are our own worst enemy. Our thinking and our mind is one of the most powerful forces there is, both in the positive and negative. It can create prisons for you that don't even exist. It can tell you lies that you believe to be true, and you create your whole life around this lie. The overthinking creates so much doubt, so much worry, so much anxiety. You start overthinking your feelings, you start overthinking your overthinking. You think something is wrong with you, you think you need to be fixed. All of these things, you're overthinking. And in this video, the kind of overthinking that I'm talking about is more future-oriented. It's the overthinking that is holding you back from changing. The overthinking that's holding you back from taking action. That's what I will go deeper into in this video, and some strategies on how you can get past this, how you can break through this imaginary wall that is created by the thinking. And one of the first strategies, I believe is also such a powerful strategy, is creating stillness in your life. If we look at overthinking and the kind of energy that it holds, it's very fast. It's this anxious kind of energy that is overthinking. Overthinking feels like you're running a marathon after a marathon after a marathon in your mind. And you might not be physically doing anything, but it physically feels like you're running a marathon. That's why the overthinking completely drains you. And if on one end it's so fast, it's so anxious, it's chaotic, that means often the solution is in the polar opposite. And the opposite in this case is creating stillness. And what I mean by creating stillness is not scrolling on social media, is not watching videos, is not listening to a podcast or watching Netflix. What I mean with creating stillness is complete stillness, silence, just you and your thoughts. And most people are too afraid to sit still, to just be with themselves and observe their thoughts. The metaphor that I often use when it comes to creating stillness is the one of a snow globe. So you can see your mind as a snow globe, and when you shake the snow globe, all the snow starts to move around chaotically. And we could say that's the overthinking, that's the mind. Now what you do is, whenever a thought comes, whenever you're overthinking, you keep shaking that snow globe over and over and over again. No wonder it's complete chaos in there. But what if you would simply grab the snow globe and put it down and you watch it? It might still be chaotic, and that's the thing that most people are too scared to face, is when they sit in stillness to observe all the thoughts that are happening. But you need to stop shaking the snow globe. You need to put it down, you need to look at it, and then eventually the snow starts to fizzle out or settle down. And that's what starts happening when you create stillness. When you simply observe your thoughts instead of thinking about your thinking about your thinking. The fact that you think that you need to do something with the feelings and need to do something with your thoughts, that's you shaking the snow globe. But if you look at them long enough, it will settle down, because all your thoughts are simply recurring thoughts. You're not having creative new thoughts all the time. It's just different versions of the same thing. And once there is this stillness, once there is this peace, this calmness, you can make a choice from this place. So that's why I think stillness is one of the most powerful tools and strategies you can use to calm the mind down. That's why meditation is so powerful. But you need to move through the uncomfortable part of observing all the thoughts. And that takes courage. It takes courage to put the snow globe down. And that's the metaphor that I always use whenever I'm stuck in overthinking and I sit in stillness and I just look at the thoughts, because I know that eventually it will all settle down. So this is one strategy you can use, creating stillness. A different one is you want to be afraid of not taking action. So this is a different kind of polar opposite. So when we look at overthinking, usually you're overthinking and stuck, and you're standing still. You feel something is holding you back. You're unable to move. and you're stuck in the same place overthinking. So what is the polar opposite? Is motion, is action, is momentum. So this is what you want to be creating. So just imagine you're standing on a cliff and you're ready to jump into the water. When you're standing on the cliff, you start overthinking. Like, oh, should I jump? What if it's dangerous? What if I land flat on my belly, or whatever starts happening? And all the people will see and hear how bad my jump was. But when you make the jump, you're not thinking about all the fears and overthinking about making the jump, because you already made the jump. All you can do is prepare for what's coming. Once you're in motion, overthinking goes away. And I think this is very powerful to realize, because the overthinking in itself is limiting and preventing you from taking action. Because it's making action and it's creating action as the scary thing. You think that something bad will happen when you take action. And the overthinking thinks you need all the certainty in the world before you're able to make that jump. But what you actually want to be doing is turning it around. You want to be afraid of not taking action. Because if we look at all the goals that you want to be achieving, all the things that you want to be doing, the things that you're procrastinating on, let's imagine whatever goal you currently have, let's imagine 6 months from now. Let's say you want to start a YouTube channel. You want to start creating content, but you're too afraid to post your first video because it's not good enough and people will make fun of you and you're afraid to look stupid. Let's imagine 6 months from now and we have two options. One, you posted your first piece of content and you started to post consistently. And the other one is you was too scared to do it. If you posted a piece of content and it might suck, but you started to post consistently, at the end of the 6 months, you can look back at the first video and think like, whew, what was I thinking? Why did I make such a bad video? But at the same time, you can laugh about it. And you can also see how courageous you were by posting that first video and creating it. But if you made the decision to not take action, to not start going to the gym and eat healthy, to not start your business, to not start posting content, then you will look back at the 6 months and you will feel regret. You will feel regret around the fact that you didn't do it, that you were too scared to do it. And that's painful. Knowing where you could have been if you were courageous enough to make a decision. What overthinking does, overthinking focuses on the present moment, on that small action in front of you. And it makes this huge beast. And it thinks that that's the thing that you have to be afraid of. But what you actually have to be afraid of is regret. Because looking back 6 months from now, a year from now, looking back at your life, knowing all the decisions you could have taken and seeing that you didn't do it, like you have to walk with that regret. You have to live with that pain. Because all the decisions that you're procrastinating on, you are just digging your hole deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And it becomes even more difficult to get out of. And that's the thing, because right now you're not stuck. If you're a year from now procrastinating on all these decisions and overthinking them, you will get stuck. That hole will be so deep that you don't even see a way out anymore, that you will just give up. And that's the thing you want to be afraid of. That feeling of regret. So, and how do you connect with that feeling of regret? Imagine yourself 6 months from now, not having taken any action. What will other people think of you? I don't think you're really afraid of looking stupid. What if all the people around you knew your dreams and they see that you're not taking action upon them? How does that feel? How will they think about you like that? Like that's painful to connect with, because they will see you like a failure. And that's why you want to be afraid of not taking action. Third strategy, also a completely different one, is not taking life so serious. And not taking everything so serious. Because what the overthinking does, it takes everything serious to an extreme. You need to have the perfect outcome. You need to make the perfect video. Because otherwise, something bad happens. Otherwise, you will be judged. And what the overthinking does, and this is so fascinating to me, because what you're actually afraid of is you are afraid that you're going to die. So if we take this YouTube video example, let's say you start making a YouTube video and it sucks. what your mind starts telling you is, okay, you made a bad video, but other people will see that you made a bad video. They will start making fun of you. They think it's so bad that they start gossiping around you. And you will never, ever be able to get a job anymore because everybody would see how bad you are. No one would ever want to date you anymore. You will be abandoned by society. You will die alone. Like, that's the thought process that goes on with the overthinking about making a video. It becomes this huge beast in front of you. But the funny thing is, you created it as a huge beast, but you can also make it smaller. Because life is not that serious. You can turn that huge beast into a tiny chihuahua with a pink bow on his head. You can create whatever you want from it by not taking life so serious. And that's why I want you to feel into this question. Because I know a lot of people have resistance to, because they think they have to take life serious. But what would it feel like if you would take life less serious? Like, you will feel more peace. You will feel more freedom. And that's the place it's way easier to take action from that place, from peace and freedom, instead of tension and pressure and seriousness. Because it's a beautiful balance. And it sounds like a paradox, because you want to take things serious, and at the same time, you don't want to take things serious. You want the act of taking action, you want to take that serious. You want to take it serious to be in motion. But whatever happens afterwards, it's out of your control. You don't want to take it too serious. Whenever the act of making a video is something you want to take serious. But whenever it's posted, it's out of your control. Whatever happens afterwards, don't take it so serious. The outcomes and all the information that you will gather is simply data. That's how I view everything. Everything is simply data, which can show me something, and it helps me to readjust whenever necessary. You have the power to create a huge beast out of whatever the task and the action is in front of you. And at the same time, you also have the power to make it smaller. And your imagination that's why the mind is so powerful. You have no idea how powerful the mind is. You experience the power if you're stuck. If you're stuck in a prison, you experience the power of the mind, but in a negative. And use your imagination also to turn it into the positive. And this also brings me into the last point, last strategy that I want to share with you, which is changing your state. And part of this is also not taking every thought so serious, because whenever, it's so funny, whenever a thought comes to you or a feeling comes to you, it's serious. It's there for a reason. You grab onto it. But this grabbing onto it is you, like with the metaphor, is you picking up the snow globe and start shaking it. You take every thought that you're having so serious. But thoughts come and go. Whenever a thought presents themselves or a feeling, you don't have to overthink it. It's just there. And usually changing your state, this is something that Tony Robbins talks about so much, changing your state. You can do this in many different ways, but changing your state helps you to get in motion. Because in motion, you stop overthinking. If let's say you're practicing martial arts, the moment you have a fight is coming up, you're walking towards the ring, that's when the overthinking starts happening. But when you're in the fight, you can't start overthinking about the fight, because you have to be present. The same with, if I look at fitness, my handstand, whenever I start going into a handstand, I'm overthinking the handstand. Oh, people will look funny at me. But once I'm in the handstand, I can't be thinking about these things, because I have to be present in that moment. And changing your state helps you to get in that motion. And you can change your state in many different ways. One guy, by the way, in the community, we were talking about this. We were bouncing ideas back and forth, and he was sharing the moment he gets stuck in overthinking. He shared with the whole group that he stands up and he imagines himself running through a wall over and over and over again. And he's pumping himself up. He's changing his state to run through the wall. Like, how would that feel? What kind of power do you want to embody to be running through a wall. And from that state, he makes a powerful decision. I do something similar. I change my music. I start moving around. I start jumping. I start using my imagination in ways of how I'm going to be conquering this overthinking. How I'm creating myself bigger than this overthinking. Because you are not your thinking. You are not your feelings. You are way bigger than that. And that's the thing that you want to be connecting with. And that's the thing you can connect with intentionally in that moment by changing your state, by using your imagination. And from that feeling, you can make a more powerful decision. Because from overthinking, you can't make a decision. You can't solve overthinking by overthinking. You can't solve a problem in the same way that it's created. You have to do something else. It's either stillness, it's getting in motion, changing your state. And I think not taking life so serious is also a big thing. So these are the kind of topics that we also discuss in the Brotherhood, in the men's group that I'm running. And because we all deal with these things. It doesn't matter which country you're from. That's the beautiful thing about the group. We have men from all over the world coming together on these weekly calls. And we work through these problems and these challenges, for example, around overthinking together. Because it's so relatable. And this relatability is also how you create breakthroughs for yourself. Seeing how other men are moving through this and working through this on the call together. And this is only one topic, the overthinking, because we have so many things we're talking through, dealing with what we're creating. And if you're interested also to work through these topics together with like-minded individuals, then fill out the application form in the description below and know that you can try out the community for free. Because before you go investing in any kind of community, I want to give you an experience first and meet the guys first to know that this is the right place for you, that this is a good fit. The community isn't even expensive. It's 47 euros a month, but I want to make sure that this is the perfect fit for you. So if you're interested, fill out the form below. We can get in touch, we can connect, and from there you can experience the community, experience what the other men are like, and feel if this is a right fit for you. So hope you liked the video, and I'll see you in the next one.